Welcome to the Bird and Taurasi Show, presented by AT&T. I am Sue Bird. I've got Diana Taurasi to my left. It's time to go, D. Are you ready to crown a champion tonight?
I am ready with my Yeti.
Are you ready
if
with
you know
your
what I
Yeti?
mean. Cheers, my friend.
It is time. But before we can get to this game, it's only right to take a flashback back to 2022. These two teams met in the finals. South Carolina obviously won that game, but sometimes you got to look back and learn to understand what's ahead. What I remember from this game is the dominance of South Carolina.
I mean, these teams know each other really, really well. These two coaches know each other really well. Obviously, Paige is going to have a reference to this championship game and what that felt like. And, you know, South Carolina can always go back on just being this reliable team in big moments, being able to not play their best basketball, but just win, baby.
So there are some similar players. We saw Paige Beckers out there, but the one thing that's definitely similar is Coach Auriemma and Dawn Staley from that 2022 game. What do you see as their styles? Do you see them as different, contrasting, similar?
I mean, stylistically, they look at basketball differently, and you can tell by the styles that their teams play. But, you know, their similarities are probably more glaring. Their players love him. They will do anything to make sure their teams win, and that's probably the thing they have most in common.
Yeah, I would say their differences probably show up most in their attire.
Yes.
We've got Dawn rocking the Louis Vuitton, I don't know, bedazzled situation, which I'm a big fan of.
I love it.
I think that's Lisa Boyer. To her right, is that a rich, fresh tracksuit? Coach Auriemma, you know, in his suit, in his no tie, just the scarf.
Yeah.
But that's really the biggest difference between the two, because to your point, back to basketball, they do a lot of things similar. One of those things is win. And another similarity that we talked about as we were heading into this game was how South Carolina is trying to dethrone Connecticut's dominance the same way we dethroned, or tried to, Tennessee's dominance.
Yeah, I mean, it's so similar to when we were in college, and Tennessee was just, you know, so tough, and they had all the Lexington, the dynasty, the great Pat Summitt, and at the time, you know, with Coach Auriemma, we were the new kids on the block. We were trying to make sure our name and our school was on top, and I think South Carolina has a little bit of that chip on their shoulder, where even in this game, they say, oh, we want to talk about us, Paige and Connecticut. Well, South Carolina can go back-to-back tonight. They can shut everyone up.
Okay, so which do you think is harder, climbing that mountain or being at the top and trying to stay?
I definitely think once you're there, it's much harder. When you're going after these titles as an underdog, you're just going through the process. You're naive, you don't have any experience. You just put your head down and go. As you know, when you have a lot of experience.
They say ignorance is bliss, and I could not agree with that more.
Yes.
I could not agree with that more. All right, it's time for the national anthem. We're going to send it out to the public. Address announcer, Jamie Coffey. When the national anthem is playing and you're a player in a game like this, what's going through your head?
Sue, this is my favorite time. You're standing there. It's that last second of just peace and quiet in your head, thinking about what the next 40 minutes are.
Absolutely. I am so excited for this one. Before we get to the actual tip, we've got something we're going to take a look at, get us all hyped. I'm ready for it. Game time.
Let's get it.
What does it take to leave your mark? What does it sound like to be victorious? What does it look like to be a champion?
The chance to repeat.
Is this a dynasty in the making? What does it take to go back to back? Focus, sacrifice, resilience.
The entire roster is on fire.
Maybe it's the mindset, the swag, whatever it takes. Is it reclaiming what's yours?
And they've done it in perfect fashion.
Standing on tradition, not resting on it.
Connecticut looking like a machine.
Championship in your DNA. Pressure, that's fuel. Strong, on a mission for this moment.
It's all coming to an end. It's surreal that it's my last game in a UConn uniform.
This is a heavyweight battle.
Basketball on both ends.
They've been the standard. Now we meet up.
This is the one we've been waiting for. The final step.
We have 40 minutes to give everything we have in our entire souls.
One game, one chance to finally discover
Found what I've been chasing.
The one.
Get your popcorn ready.
If there was one player whose mind I would love to get into right now and know what they're thinking, it's got to be Paige Bueckers. I mean, all of it comes down to this one game, the final game in her career. Everybody's been talking about that legacy we already mentioned. And as we look at the Capital One rewarding performance, what a tournament it's been so far for Paige Bueckers. 26.4 points per game, 55 shooting from 2, 52% from 3, 3.2 steals in this NCAA tournament. What have you seen from Paige Bueckers, D?
I mean, what a full moment circle for her. I mean, we can talk about her careers and all her accolades, the way she's carried this team. But to think about as a freshman, she was the player of the year. 4 years later, she's in the national championship game, in a rematch game for her to go down as one of the best college players to ever play. I mean, this is the moment. This is the moment.
You have brought up her last 4 years. What a journey it has been. I mean, you just take a look. One of the things we're definitely going to touch on throughout the course of this game is, of course, her play, but also the time she missed with some major injuries and how that's impacted her. So it'll be fun to see how Paige approaches this final game. We've got a couple of keys that we want to review. We're going to take a look at our keys. D, I know you're really focused on the freshman battle. Sarah Strong, Joyce Edwards. What are you looking for?
I mean, I want to see how these two freshmen play in this game. They've been looking like seniors all tournament. I mean, the way they dominate the paint, whether it's with the dribble drive, posting up littles, they put so much pressure on the defense. They will both have a lot of attention tonight. So we'll see if they can make plays off touching the paint.
Yeah, and we'll get to see, does this moment impact them? So far, they have not looked like freshmen throughout this tournament. If anything, they've looked like vets. They've looked like people who are experienced and ready to go. So I have my eye on that. On the other side of things, the three-point line is going to be so important. So we talked about points in the paint. I think this game gets decided behind the three-point line. Will Connecticut have a similar game to their last time out, even the last time out against South Carolina in February? Or will South Carolina be able to put some points on the board behind that line? That's been key for them in some of their wins. Tahina Paopao is one of those players that can certainly shoot it. So I think that's where the game is won, that three-point line.
Yeah, and as you can see from one of these highlights, they're all catch and shoot threes. So there's going to be some perimeter defense being played. Running them off the line is going to be key for both of them.
Absolutely. So this is what we're going to be looking for. Can the UConn Huskies hit 9 or more three-pointers? I think that gives them the win. Will South Carolina Gamecocks and Mylasia Fulwiley, will she get to 18 points? If she gets to 18, that could be a game changer. We've also got a great guest list. I'm so excited for this one. Elena Deladon is in the house. Jalen Suggs is in the house. Got some Aaliyah Edwards. She's played against these teams, she knows. And of course, that'll be followed by Caitlin Clark. I mean, there's probably nobody in the country that could speak more to this South Carolina team, this UConn team, than Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Emma, I was calling Caitlin. Hey, let me know.
What do we do?
What should we do? And that just goes to show you what an amazing job Dawn Staley's done. I mean, she's beat not only amazing teams, but superstars, legends. She's found a way to limit those players and come out with a win, and that's ultimately why you play this game.
Yeah, and here are the starting lineups for both teams. Some things that jump out right when this graphic comes up. Chloe Kicks. We didn't really say her name a lot. This is a glue player. When she's able to get those hustle plays, like she has a knack for the ball, and when she's able to impact the game in that way, it could change things for South Carolina. Obviously, Azzi Fudd, Paige Bueckers, Sarah Strong, the big three. What about Caitlin Chen and how she's been playing?
I mean, she just steadies the boat, doesn't she? Whenever things are getting a little bit out of whack, I think Caitlin's brought that obvious experience being a fifth-year senior to really just make sure the offense gets set and to get Paige and Azzi in great positions to score.
You guys, we're going to be joining you. You're basically sitting on the couch with us, so you might as well join us as well. You can engage with us on social, post some questions, hashtag #BirdToRossi. You might be featured. Maybe we'll answer. If we don't like it, maybe not. That's how it works. This is our show. But yeah, check us out. Feel free to chime in. Oh man, the tip. The tip. This is that last moment where you're like, well,
I know. I don't
I
know.
can do now.
I feel like the first 2 minutes of the game, I'm like, can it just get over with already? You know, like nothing ever good happens in the first 2 minutes of the game. Like,
Yeah, it's definitely a time to settle in. Even if you got a quick lead, it means nothing.
yeah,
Like,
it's so
just have to
early.
settle in. And we're off.
I'm always interested to see what the first play out of the tip is. I know coaches really focus on that first play. It's interesting to see what coaches want to get going early, which if you're Connecticut, I guess you don't mind an open three.
I think something people don't know, and I actually didn't do this. I don't know about you if you ever did this with Coach Rayama, but I get to the WNBA, and it was when Brian Adler became our coach. We actually drew up, and I know you do this in Phoenix.
Yeah.
We drew up a first play, a unique play, maybe something from our playbook every single game. We had something different to throw at people for that first play. So it is always a little bit of a sign on what you're looking for.
Right. Pow, pow.
Pow,
What
pow.
a great sign for South Carolina. And you know what? This kid just feels like the moment's never too big for her.
Yeah, I think Holly, discussed this pregame. She was really disappointed. Pow Pow was really disappointed in her play and her leadership in that blowout back in February. So I feel like we can count on her to step up. She's in a similar boat as Paige. She's a senior. This is it. We already saw some actions from Sarah Strong, the freshman you got your eye on.
Baby Jokic, I mean, her footwork, her hands, the way she sees the court, she's really, really special. And Chloe Kitts, someone that you mentioned that was a bit quiet in the Final Four game, but those are the type of plays that she makes throughout the game that makes South Carolina really good.
Yeah, she's that player where you don't have to run a lot for her. It's not about, getting her to her spots. It's almost like she just finds them naturally.
Right.
Paige got that 1-footer. That's really important for Paige. Interestingly, in this tournament, we noticed it in the UCLA game.
Yeah.
She doesn't really get going.
Yeah.
Hasn't really got going till the second half. So for an early jumper to fall.
Yeah. I would say for someone like Paige, being a senior, you can pick and choose when to be aggressive. I think as you get older, we talked about this earlier, if you don't get off to a hot start, there's so much game left, you'll eventually find it. But in a game like this, the sooner the better probably.
Yeah, to add to that, I think also what happens when you get older is those lulls where you're not getting shots, you're letting your teammates kind of get off, they don't impact your rhythm as much.
Right.
Your experience doesn't allow you to get mental about your rhythm. You stay in rhythm the whole game no matter what.
I mean, early on, you can see there's a focus on everything on AZ Fudd is over the top, being physical. They force
they're
her
being
to a
very
contested
physical.
three. And, but these are the ways, playing off the ball that can get you going, and she's one of the best in the country. I love that, yeah.
Get off.
I love that.
Ooh, thought about it. There's your girl,
Who's that?
Raven Johnson.
Talk to me.
There's
Talk to
your
me,
girl.
Raven.
How do you feel about her calling you a lady?
I mean,
That's a compliment.
3 times a lady.
She said, that lady called. That lady's a
but
legend.
Raven always finds a way to impact the game. Obviously, they're in the back cut. But, defensively, I'm really going to watch how she plays AZ, where she's not going to help off the corner like on that. And other players are going to get opportunities like Caitlin Chen just did.
I don't think people understand how difficult that shot Caitlin Chen just made is. That is a driving layup where you're taking off like a tiny bit earlier than you're used to, and the touch that's required, that's a skill.
I feel like that's adaptation when you're 5'2".
It is, for sure.
Yeah.
I never got that, but yeah.
Even Raven denying the wing and making them play to the other side.
Oh, yeah, she's face guarding AZ.
Yeah, I mean,
Listen, the reality is everything we talked about that we hoped would go well for UConn, shooting threes, South Carolina's on the other side saying we can't let them shoot threes.
Right.
We can't let them get off from the three-point line. Chloe Kitts. You just knew she wasn't going to stay quiet for 2 games in a row.
I just love these kids that can bounce back from a tough night and come back and make sure they have an assertive attitude like Sarah Strong does every night. I mean, this kid is so smooth. She can seal and finish with both hands. I mean, Chloe Kitts is a great defender. She plays space really well in angles.
Well, she's so mobile, which allows her to be so versatile. And then as she gets older, she'll just probably continue adding to her offensive skill set. Tough. All the shots that Azzi wasn't making in the Elite Eight, some of these bunnies, she's made in these last 2 games. And that's just a nice, got her left hand off the ball there. That was a one-handed shot. Foul me on my left, that's okay.
You play so much better when you play with some assertiveness.
Yeah.
You know, and we've all been
No matter
there where
what.
we're just floating on the court. Like, Azzi in the last 2 games has been so assertive, and you can see it from the tip. And it just makes Connecticut's life so much easier. And Paige, in these moments, doesn't feel like she has to do everything. And that can suit them well in the long run.
Isn't it funny, though, as a player, you know, maybe you're at a point where, you know, you've had a little bit of a tough stretch. Maybe you're not shooting as well. You're a little tentative. You're trying to find it. But even aggressive mistakes don't feel that bad.
They
and
don't.
the tentative ones feel awful.
Anything
It
off
can
the
be
back foot?
Yeah. But when you're in that moment where you're trying to get out of it and you're making those tentative mistakes,
Right.
it's like you just got to convince yourself to be aggressive, and good things generally happen.
Ooh.
And that's where Caitlin Chen changes things for this team. Mike Oriama's wife.
Shout out.
Shout out. Caitlin Chen is just so steady.
I mean, she had such a great year, 4 years at Princeton, and those are the free agent pickups in college right now that can just change the next year for you.
And that's what South Carolina is going to have to do
Yeah.
to have success, to build leads, hit those O boards. I mean, that's where Paige is going to have to get stronger, find her
Ooh.
physicality in the ways that she can use it.
Yeah.
So you're not just, you know, looking like Gumby out there. All right, we got a timeout coming up, and we got a special guest joining us after the break, Elena Deladon. It's time to party!
Dele! Dele!
The Bird and Taurasi Show is presented by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. We love celebrating a retirement on this show.
Don't do it, EDD.
D, you got some amazing
I-
gifts on
I really
Friday. And it would, you know, we couldn't let this moment pass without sharing
No.
another retirement gift.
Welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club. Exclusive.
A re-gift or is it?
No,
No.
we would never do
Okay.
that.
All right, just
We
one.
thought about it. We were like,
That's nice. Look at that.
we know you love a hat.
I love
you rock
the
a hat.
You can be on the pier.
On the
shotgunning
water.
high cans and
Yeah.
high noons.
High cans.
Gotta protect the skin now. Get
Yes.
a little older, so you know. Oh,
And a candle.
Nice.
Just in case you need a
Like
fresh
it's
scent.
Not your problem anymore. Happy.
Yeah.
It does smell like that.
Smells like it's not your problem.
Smells like it is not my problem. I love that.
Amazing.
For a night of relaxing at the pier with your candle.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
Freshly retired, just announced a couple days ago. How are we
Yes.
feeling in the early stages?
You know, I'm feeling good about it. I kind of like went in hiding for a year to figure out what the heck I was gonna do, and my body just needed the break. And then as the year went on, it was like, you know, it's done. I'm finished, and I'm happy with that. But through the year, like I got time to like try out retirement. Like I'd be at the grocery store. They're like, "You play for the Mystics, right?" And I'm like, "I used to." I'm like, David,
How does that feel?
It's funny. I don't know how to answer that either anymore.
weird.
Do you play basketball? No. Did you? Like,
yeah, I'm still getting used to that, but yeah, I was trying it out for the year, but It's interesting too when like you finally announce it to like everyone in social media. I was like real weepy for the day because it's almost like that like
Makes it real.
Yeah, it makes it so real. People are talking about your career and you're just like,
It feels like a funeral almost.
Yeah.
I was saying like it
Retirements
feels
are
like an
weddings and funerals.
obituary.
Like a retirement party is a wedding and a funeral at the same
together,
time. It's
I
like
know.
all the people you did all the cool things with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, bye.
And it's like,
I might never see you again.
no, now what? So we'll see.
All right, so we'll definitely get into some of your pro career, USA basketball, but what do you remember about college, playing in the NCAA tournament?
Oh
What was that
man,
like?
Delaware. We were like bringing the state down. It was such a crazy moment for us, especially my senior year.
Yeah.
We were hosting at Delaware.
I remember those.
I remember.
those games were
Oh, I was
crazy.
tuned in.
They were crazy. It was so loud. And then we were playing UNC. We weren't supposed to win.
Right.
And we did. And Vice President Biden at the time was there. And the building like was just so loud. It was bursting. And to go to the Sweet 16, unfortunately, lost there. But quite the underdog, fun story.
Well, you've been in a bunch of big games, WNBA champion, gold medalist. When you're in South Carolina right now and you're playing against a Connecticut team with like, everywhere you look, there's people that can score.
Yeah.
What do you tell your team? What do you
You
tell your
almost just
teammates?
have to like stay in it and stay in the grittiness of the game, especially the pace of Connecticut.
Yeah.
Like you kind of just have to deal with that. And I don't know about you guys, but like the beginning of a game, especially like a big one, how out of breath.
I'm like, can
we were
these
just
2
talking
minutes
about
just
it.
go away?
Go away.
Just talking
I
about
know.
that.
I need this to go away so I can sit down on the bench and
Yeah.
like breathe again. It's so weird.
And process what
You're
just
waiting for
happened.
that first TV timeout.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you got to get the second
By the way,
win.
somehow you're back. You're back. You go from being so tired and like to then first TV timeout happens and everything settles in.
and you're fine. It's so crazy how that happens. But like it's like I'm not gonna breathe again. Like
Yeah.
this is so hard. I don't think I can play this game, and then you're fine.
So, what was your experience with Coach Rima at the Olympics? What are kind of the takeaways like, oh, this is why he's a great coach, or, this is why people don't like him?
No. He's brutally honest, but it's in such a good way, and it just makes you so much better. He helped me so much moving without the ball.
Yeah.
Like, I forget the amount of time he said something like, you only will have the ball in your hands for this amount of time in a 40-minute game. It was like maybe a minute. And he was like,
Look at that team.
What else are you doing?
All right.
That was the
We have opinions about this team. We think it's the best Olympic team ever. Thoughts?
doubt.
Down. I mean,
It's pretty hard
stop
to
it.
argue that.
I mean,
Everyone's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Like,
Literally.
that's 12 Hall of Famers on one team.
and you guys were on a lot of teams. And this is my one team, so of course it's the best.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah, I'm certainly going to say that's the best one, but we were good.
Well, it's one thing to have the best players, but like the way we played,
Oh my God.
we had so much fun on that team.
we did.
That was just a great team.
So that's a team that had great vibes.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been saying about UConn. They have a great vibe.
Yeah.
A really great vibe. Moving screens
see
don't help
that.
those vibes. But so South Carolina now hasn't scored in the last
Wow.
2-3 minutes.
You got to
So
get
it's been
something
3
good.
minutes they haven't scored. It's still just a 3-point game, but again, that's the one thing that I feel from UConn, the vibes.
Elena, how hard is it to go back to back? South Carolina won last year, trying to get to that back-to-back status.
It's so hard
What are the
because,
challenges?
like, almost like the first time you do it, you're like, oh, all right, like we did it. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. But then to do it again, it's really tough. Yeah, and just you want to see them get through these stagnant moments, which they're in a pretty good position right
Oh, yeah.
now. Only 17-14 and they haven't scored. But to do it again, it takes so much. It takes luck. You got to be healthy.
Yeah.
We all know that.
We all know
We
that.
all know that.
But yeah, these two coaches have been lucky enough to play for them.
When you end the quarter with a basket,
I'm telling you, it's good vibes only. It's
It
good
is.
vibes only. All right, Elena, before we let you go, we want to take a quick look at everything you've accomplished in your career. Do we even have enough space?
we don't.
That's like a third of them, maybe a quarter.
That's all right. Those are
What
the
sticks out to you? You look back on your career and you read this list.
Definitely just the championship. I don't think it even has a gold medal. Yeah.
I know.
And then the
Like I
50,
said, a
40, 90
quarter.
season, my goodness.
50-40.
That's insane.
Paige
was
is also
so
doing
stressful.
50-40-90 right now. She's
Yeah.
flirting with it.
That's insane.
It was funny. Like my last game, I was really close to 50, 40, 90, like either gonna get it or not. And my wife Amanda was like, maybe just don't shoot today. Like just maybe just. I was like, yeah, I don't need to hear that right
not
now.
the answer.
Yeah.
I mean, what if we were talking to SVP yesterday?
You were such a nightmare to play against.
Oh
my God.
Oh, you guys were
You were
like,
such a
They
nightmare.
were like, what are we going to do? I'm like,
I was like, I don't know. She's probably going to have 35.
Yeah, like, should we put someone small on it?
We can't let her shoot pull-up threes. She's probably going to get a pull-up three in transition. Elena, thank you
Love
so
you
much.
guys.
Yeah,
Superstar.
love you too. Thank you so much for coming on. Congrats on retirement. You're in good company now.
hey, you guys made it look fun.
Hey, let's shotgun some beer.
We're gonna
Let's
do that
shotgun-
next.
We'll be right back.
Let's get some shotguns in.
Let's do it.
Well, Sue, you had a great career. Two-time NCAA champion. Once undefeated in 2002. 4 WNBA titles. Dang, I only had 3. And 5 gold medals as the point guard of America. You know what? All you do is win, my friend.
Me looking like the Pope.
You are
Hey, everybody.
a winner. You are a leader. And it's nice to have a best friend that's got
Passes
game.
you the ball. Look at this class. I feel
stop
so
it.
lucky. This is a dope class. First of all, have amazing memories with Sil and Maya, of course.
Yeah.
Was on Olympic teams at the same time as Melo and Dwight Howard.
Yep.
Billy Donovan
He could be your.
is also from Long Island.
Oh my God.
2 Long Islanders going in at the same time.
And Danny Crawford.
What?
And Danny Crawford.
From Long Island. Anyways, this is an amazing class. Of course, the Redeem team. Shout out to Danny Crawford. Shout out to Mickey Harrison. I mean, we were just talking. We have played in a generation of Hall of Famers with and against. And because of that, we're going to have some pretty unique experiences where we're going into Hall of Fames with people we played with.
Yeah, that's a whole different ball game. And I mean, the generation that we were in, we talk about it all the time. Every single game was a battle because you were playing against Hall of Famers left and right. It didn't matter who you were playing against. Speaking of Hall of Famers, what's better than going right and pulling up, Sue?
Actually, I like going left.
I know you do, but still.
You do too.
Yeah, but you know, I actually, once I had back surgery, I started going right more for my pull-up.
No.
Yeah, because right was my sciatica a lot in the leg, so I couldn't push up. Yeah.
I think going right for the pull-up is something that, as I got older with my knee,
Yeah.
it became harder and harder going
Yeah.
right. Going left was always more natural. And
Yeah,
it
I think
just is for a righty.
yeah, for righty anyways.
But I could go right, and then slowly but surely that got hard. I tried to add more like a runner. No, not a floater. Like a legit runner. Which, to be honest, I wish I had either done sooner or I had like 2 more years with it. I was getting good at it. I
Yeah.
needed like 2 more years with it. If I were going to teach like someone like a Paige, you know, when she took a one-legged runner earlier in the game for a guard. Yikes.
I mean, Sarah
That's
Strong,
what I'd be teaching guards right now.
Yes, is a
one-legged runners.
force.
Yes, she is.
She just affects the game in so many different ways. Just when you think you have a layup, you don't.
You don't.
You don't.
South Carolina ended that first quarter on a major drought. They didn't score for like 4 minutes. So just to see the ball go through the hoop right now, anything will help. But again, it's only 7 points. This game is far from over. No nails in the coffin yet.
No, we are going to save those for the last 2 minutes of the game. You know, this is the one thing about South Carolina when they're in these positions. I don't feel panic. I don't feel frustration. I just feel like they're going to put their head down and continue to play every possession after possession. And, you know, next thing you know, it'll be a tied game.
Mm-hmm. I will say the one thing that jumped out when we did that flashback earlier to 2022, Aaliyah Boston on the block. That is the one thing this South Carolina team, of course, after graduating her, graduating Camila Cardoso, they've missed that type of presence. You know, I think at the start of this game, they're only
great
3
pass.
and now 4 for 11, maybe 5 for 12, given that last layup in the paint. So, you know, that's something that they always counted on in years past that they haven't had.
Yeah, I
They've had to find other ways.
Yeah, I think they're getting to the paint in different ways with dribble drives and a little bit more space. But, even then, we just talked about the high-low. South Carolina's perfected the block-to-block high-low, which is tough to guard.
It's tough to guard.
I mean,
I'm like, is it on purpose?
You don't practice that.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to defend that. But South Carolina's patient. They know what they want to get to. Playing for Dawn, she does always put you in a position to really maximize mismatches. And I think you're starting to see that in the last 2 possessions.
Yeah, we saw it in the semifinals as well. Joyce Edwards was able to get off a little bit, taking her matchup one-on-one. The thing I think when I look back to playing for Dawn and then seeing her now and seeing how her teams respond to her, I think she lets players has a really unique ability to let players be exactly who they are,
Right.
while also having them buy in to a team system. And that's not easy. Sometimes coaches will ask players to essentially adapt or adjust or change something
Right.
about their game to fit. She finds a way to do both. That's where I think, if I were to do the difference between her and Coach Auriemma, that's something that she does really well. He does it well too. I didn't mean to make it as a
Right.
pin them against each other.
But it's
she
definitely a
does that
strength
really
that
of
Dawn
hers.
has.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank you for saving me on that one.
Yeah, no, like I'm even thinking about, our Olympic experience, not only as a coach, but as a player. I always remember in 2004, we got to Athens and Dawn called a team meeting.
Yep.
She just pulled us together for 10 minutes just to refocus on what was
you
the
remember what
task
she
at
said?
hand.
Do you remember what she said?
I don't remember everything.
I remember.
I know what I heard.
She pulled the team only meeting. It was actually after the pool play. So now we're going into the knockout rounds. We're heading into the quarterfinals. And she's like, listen, pool play means nothing.
Yep.
Yes, we got great wins. It means nothing. This is when the real tournament starts. And this is when no individual stat matters.
Yep.
This is when the only thing that matters is winning. And then she said, nobody remembers who the leading scorer was in 2000, in 96, in 92. They only remember the gold medal.
So true.
And that was her message to our team.
I mean, what a great message. And I feel like in a lot of ways, that's the message that these South Carolina teams play with. Obviously, you've had the superstars in Asia Wilson, Aaliyah, Cardozo, Alicia Gray. I mean, you've had these superstars, but they always seem to play, like you said, within the constraints of what she wants you to do.
Connecticut on a little bit of a drought of their own.
I mean, this is the most animated I've seen Dawn and Coach Auriemma in a while. I mean, we always talk about players competing. I love when the coaches compete.
Yeah. So there's been no field goals for UConn in the last 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Joyce Edwards has 2 fouls. Janet El Alfie has 2 fouls. Just something to keep your eye on. Are they on the bench? They are.
I mean, I think 2 fouls for teams like Connecticut and South Carolina don't affect you as much as, they would Texas with Madison and how much of the scoring
the
load
depth,
that she
absolutely.
takes. So that, the 2 foul discussion's a little bit looser with these 2 teams.
Yeah, much easier to keep people on the bench longer.
Absolutely.
40%? Nope. Oh, Janet is back in the game.
I think you can see South Carolina speeding Connecticut up a little bit. They seem a bit rushed.
On offense?
Yeah, they seem a little bit off kilter, and this is what the Gamecocks do. They find a way to enforce their will on you.
That's what I was thinking with Joyce Edwards. 2 fouls. Do you, don't you? I think you actually have to take, when you're South Carolina, you have to take especially a post player out in that scenario because they play such a physical style, because they're going to try to get more physical, more aggressive with Connecticut. And you don't want her picking up that third. And now we get to see how Connecticut's going to respond. And now the South Carolina fans start getting into it.
And if you think about it, this is the pace, the rhythm that South Carolina wants. They want to be able to seek out a mismatch that they like.
Oh, yeah, it's already been like the tale of two quarters in terms of the pace and the styles.
And this is what Connecticut wants to do. They want to push pace. They want to attack closeouts and, get to the free throw line.
Easy Fudd's family in the building.
It's been really neat to see all the families of all these kids, because I can think back on, like, when my parents and, our families they couldn't wait to get to the Final Four.
They had like a bond.
Yeah, they all did. And you see the South Carolina families, and you could just tell they're, like, living this ride with all their kids and, all their family members. It's such a special time for a lot of people.
I mean, we've been talking about our own retirements a lot. And what's something you realized when you retire, what else happens? Your family is dealing with a loss.
It's a lot of grief.
It's a lot of grief for them, too. No more games to go to.
Yeah.
No more parties to attend.
Yeah.
But it's really, in all reality, the connection they make with other families, that goes away. They don't get to have that joint experience anymore.
Yeah.
That was something I noticed during my retirement when my family started, maybe giving toasts at different dinners. They were also losing something.
Yeah.
And it didn't hit me until that moment.
Like, you forget you need a team behind you. Obviously, your initial basketball team, but your friends, your family, the people who support you outside of the basketball court, that's just as important. And, it seems like all these kids have a great support system behind them. I mean, the fact that Sarah can challenge that and not
keep it
foul
in play.
is just such great body control.
And then keep it in play.
And so many great things about that play.
It's just pretty.
I mean, when she gets her hands free, it's pretty much
I
up
feel
to
like
her if she
every
gets it or
time you
not.
say when someone gets their hands free, I just picture you on defense, not letting them get their
Hey,
hands
don't
free.
get those hands free, Sue. Especially
That's
you.
how you play defense.
I know, and
get
it would
off.
bug you so much.
So much. Because I'd be looking at the ref like, this is just gonna let this go.
That's the rule. The stove.
Yeah.
Touch the stove. Touch the stove. Shut up. Touch the stove.
Do you see how you just you can't?
Touch the stove.
What's it called? Not when you move something.
Touch the stove.
Hey. All right, we got a special guest.
Jay.
Jalen Suggs is in the house. Well, we're giving you a hint, but there is a special connection between him and Paige Beckers. Welcome back, everybody. We told you we had a special guest, somebody very familiar with March Madness moments. Did you call this?
I didn't call it, but it counts in the moment.
It doesn't matter, Jalen.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Resulted for
You
the
can
win.
take it to the bank if you
What
want.
an epic moment.
Look at that.
Poor Jaime. We just had him on
We
the
had
other day.
Jaime. He
Poor
almost started
Jaime.
crying. He was like,
Yeah,
"I'm
he
so
was
fucking
devastated.
Jalen."
Oh my God.
Jalen Suggs, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on. We mentioned before you came on here, you've got a connection with Paige Beckers. When did you guys meet? I know it's like one of those elementary school stories.
Yeah. P came to the gym. I remember P coming to the gym, and we're practicing, and she's just on the side hooping. And she's getting in her bag, shooting fades, handle super tight. I'm like, damn, this girl's got game. We're in practicing, and then she comes and joins the practice, and it's seamless, you know what I'm saying? And you could tell that she's been hooping, and she had flow, and she's almost one of the best players on the court with us. So, it's really dope, just having her come fit in, and from that point on, not only do we bond on the court through basketball, but just through friendship, and kind of getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And,
So when you watch her play, like, after the game, like, are you giving her pointers? Are you like, yo, Paige, you missed a couple open, like, threes? Like, how do you guys
talk about
what's your
basketball?
relationship like when you watch her play?
Definitely a little bit of that. More so, she already knows all that's going on.
Yeah.
So definitely we talk more about the mental aspect, I think, more than everything.
Yeah.
Or more than anything. Talk about how, like, she feels throughout the game, how she's dealing with, the flows of the game, how she's dealing with the pressures of the game, the moment, all of that stuff. I think that's one of my favorite aspects about our relationship is that I have somebody there, who can understand where I'm coming from. I get where she's coming from, and we can bounce off of each other from that standpoint. Not so much talk about basketball. We have enough people to do that with.
Yeah,
but we can share the mindset aspect.
Yeah, UConn on an
these
8-0.
youngins.
Yeah.
What's
young
better
youngins.
than
Babies.
the
Straight
early
baby
USA
faces.
basketball pictures are always the best.
So funny.
It's like you forget you've been doing it for a long long time with USA Basketball when you
That's
see
true.
pictures like that. You know, UConn's on an 8-0 run, and this is what usually Connecticut does, you know, in the second quarters. They go on these runs, and they put you in a tough spot.
They do. So you guys, obviously, you said you talk about basketball, but it's nice to talk about other things. But Paige is obviously declared for the draft,
Yeah.
so now she's going to be going to the WNBA. You're in the NBA. Have you been able to? Well, actually, no. You probably haven't talked about it. What do you see in Paige's game that you want to see her develop as she turns pro?
Yeah. I mean, she's got everything. You know, 3-level score. You know, I love how unselfish she is. She get everyone involved and pick her spots, when to score, when to get others involved. So I love how she controls the game. I think being more aggressive at times, I think obviously is something that she can continue to develop. And I think she does it, you know, when need be. But I love when she turns that switch on because it's one of my favorite things to see.
I'm like, how do you have 40 and don't score in the second quarter? I'm just like,
Crazy.
Like overly unselfish.
Yes.
And it's a good thing, but like,
it's definitely a great skill to have when you can make, obviously, your teammates look really good like that, and at the same time know when to turn it up. And I think that comes with experience, right?
absolutely.
To
Absolutely.
pick and choose when you're going to really be aggressive.
Yeah.
I mean, Jay, you played a national championship game. They're never pretty.
No, it's tough. I'm not gonna lie. And the environment really is something that you have to get over. It really is something that you have to get over. And you can talk about it. You can say that it's, you know, just another game.
Yeah.
But once you get in there, the lights are brighter. In my case, there was cardboard. It was half of this arena, but still the moment's
Oh,
very
yeah.
heavy.
You were in a basically like a bubble tournament.
Yeah.
That's right. I've always said there's something about the minute you land, whatever the city is. Obviously, we're here in Tampa. The minute these teams landed in Tampa, they felt it.
Yeah.
Everybody's greeting you in a different way.
Yeah.
They're celebrating it in a different way. And that pressure just starts to build.
Do you think teams handle it different? Like, Coach Ramos was like, we're going to stay 30 minutes away. Like, you know, you're not going to enjoy any of this. Teams that maybe might not get here as often, do you think that player experience is different?
I would say so a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, I think the more you try to make it a bit different, I think that adds a bit more pressure.
Yeah.
I think the more that you can just enjoy the moment, kind of be in it, you know, like immerse yourself in it, you know, allow the kids to be in it, you know, be close, enjoy everything that comes with it. You know, I think that lets them play a bit looser, have a bit more fun, you know, not be a bit, you know, as tense. You know,
Yeah, no, I agree. Because if you essentially have to do the same thing you've been doing. So
Yeah.
on road
Yeah.
trips, if you, I don't know, went out to dinner, you got to keep going
Yeah.
out to dinner.
Keep the routine.
You know, if you walked around the city, you got to keep, or else it does have an impact where it makes it feel bigger, and you don't want that.
No.
You don't want that.
No, don't add no more pressure to it than need.
Johnson with a big
Wait,
three.
we got a Twitter question.
Credit to 8.
We got a Twitter question for Jalen. Who were some of the most challenging opponents you faced, and what made those matchups memorable? This is from the real Corey, 34.
Shout out Corey.
I know the fake Corey Green, and he's an asshole.
Ah! Welcome to the party.
I'd say Steph.
Yeah.
Steph, partly just because of who he is, but the challenging part of chasing him around and having to be engaged off the ball and on the ball. That's hard for me because off the ball I love to ball watch a bit. I love to go for steals and, you know, kind of manipulate what's going on. But you have to be so locked in with him, know where he's at, kind of be up to touch, be on his body, chase him all over screens. So that was really challenging for me specifically. And then just who he is. I mean, he's Steph. He's shooting from everywhere.
I know.
I did good against him second year, and then third year he got hot. I think he might have taken that one matchup personally and fried me in Golden State. So that was a bit tough for me. But it was really cool. You know, it was all a learning experience, and, you know, I thought that was really dope. So going up against the GOAT.
Steph's a problem. Like, I think when you talk about underrated players, I think Steph's underrated.
In a sense, yeah. He should be up there with, like,
Actually.
LeBron and Jordan.
Absolutely,
Think that?
absolutely.
I really believe that.
Like,
He
every
changed the
time,
game.
every
Yeah,
time I
changed the
watch
game.
him play, I'm like, this might be the best basketball player I've ever seen.
That's absolutely
Ashton Slade.
I mean, there's
Hitting a
nothing.
three, going in.
There's nothing better than going into halftime with a bucket.
No. And the quarters.
Yeah,
The
like-
quarters are so huge.
Well, this is not where South Carolina wanted to be, down 10 going into halftime. But so Sue always says she'd rather be down 20 at halftime than up 20. What about you, Jay?
In the pros.
I'd rather be up 20. Don't put me down 20. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, Jalen, we can't let you go without seeing one of
Cheers,
your
Uncle.
other March Madness highlights.
Oh, show me.
This is a big moment for Haley. It might have been an even bigger moment.
This was it.
It might have been an even bigger moment for her dad.
Chest bump.
Hey, Pasta's
Pull it
doing
out.
good,
Pull
huh?
it out.
Pasta's doing good.
Let's go.
Hey,
Up
Corey's
chest.
great.
We just got
That
to
was so good. I was like, is that Jalen? All right, coming up on the AT&T Halftime Report, special guest Aaliyah Edwards, first half reactions. Jalen Suggs was in the building. Thank you for blessing us. It's
Thank
good to
you.
see
Speedy recovery, Jay.
I appreciate you both.
Welcome to the AT&T Halftime Report.
Ooh, AZ Fudd with the rip. She's got 13 points, 5 for 8 from the field. Paige Beckers has 8 points, 3 for 9. And we are lucky to have someone with us right now who knows exactly what it's like to play with the players I just talked about. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for
Aaliyah
having me.
Edwards. What are you seeing so far in this first half?
Dominance. I mean, it shows that we ended the half up 10, but I think we're all gas on the pedal still. And from jump ball, we were attacking the rim, putting them shots up. Second quarter was a bit iffy, but, we started off strong, and I think we ended the half strong.
I mean, you're the reigning one-on-one champion of the world. Please tell me how that was.
Crazy.
Did you love
Crazy.
it?
I loved it, every part of it, but I was also very nervous. I'm going up against elite scorers every matchup. I'm like, start with Stewie, then I get Alicia Gray, then I got Enrique. I'm like, oh my gosh, give me a break.
Wait, what was your walkout music? That was my favorite part. Oh, every player had their own walkout
I love
music.
that.
Yeah. It was
like
feeling
boxing.
myself. Nicki
Oh,
Minaj.
perfect.
Yeah,
Oh, dang, you
Beyonce.
good? No Drake? Dang, no Kendall?
No, it was, the
Dang.
beef. I didn't want to, get
Oh, yeah.
caught in it.
That's
Yeah.
Canadian. You're
Yeah,
Canadian.
it's love from a
Yeah,
distance.
you don't want strays. You're right.
All right, we're going to go to Twitter. We've got a question for you, Aaliyah.
Okay.
What differences do you notice between the UConn team that faced South Carolina in 2022 and the rematch in 2025?
I think, the emotion and the drive and passion is just different. Going into the 2022 matchup, I felt like we already were kind of like, okay, we're nervous. We're kind of, it's already 1-0, before we even started the game. But going into this game, I feel like they were very confident. We've had a great showing all tournament, and I think they're just really motivated, more motivated this year.
Yeah.
Plus, we got a healthy bench.
That helps.
No injuries,
That helps.
Practices is not just 7 people. So.
Oh, God, what a grind.
Layup lines. Oh.
Yeah, no.
Well, we talk about experience a lot. I mean, this is an experienced basketball team. I mean, they played in a final, obviously, with you. What difference have you seen in Paige, and what does a game like this mean to her? You know her so well.
Yeah.
You've seen her the ups, the downs.
I think she wants to leave it all out on the court. It's her last year. She knows this is her last college game wearing UConn. We all know how proudful she is to represent the Husky, and I think she wants it for not only the 12 or how many people are on the team right now, but those who came before, and for me and Nika, especially our class, she knows that she's doing it more than just the people who are playing right now. So I think that's her biggest motivator. And, I'm like, Paige, just put a little fine print of my name on the banner when we get it. That's all I ask for.
That's why you keep texting her?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's look at the other side for a second. South Carolina, there's a player, Malaysia Fulwiley, that we talked about in pregame, thinking, oh, if she has a big game, like 18-plus points, that could do it for South Carolina. She's only played 7 minutes, no points, I think 2 turnovers. Is that something that surprises you?
It does. It does surprise me. But I think with South Carolina, they're a dominant team, and they're good at closing out games. So we shouldn't be too excited yet, I'm excited going into the half, but you got to respect them for the talent. And I think that she's a great shifty guard. She just needs maybe some more reps.
Yeah, maybe she should start, is what you're saying.
Maybe.
We talk about players that can come off a half that, they necessarily aren't happy about. We'll see if she can do that.
So she should start the third quarter?
She should start the third quarter.
Last game, she was doing her thing, and she was like, oh, you got to start at the third quarter. I don't think we do that. Anyways, Aaliyah, thank you so much for joining us. For those that don't know the background to this story, we saw you last night at around midnight. We were
What
out.
time
We
was
were
it
out.
again?
Who knows? There was a 12 on the clock, AM or PM, doesn't matter. And we were like, Aaliyah, can you come on the show tomorrow?
I never thought I would be on the show, but it's lit over here. So
Hey, to my fellow number 3.
Yep.
Hey.
Thanks for coming.
Who's wearing it now? Who's wearing 3 now?
Nobody.
Nope.
Nobody
Good.
should.
Okay.
Sarah Strong had 11 points in the first half. Sorry, Sarah Strong with 8 points and 11 rebounds. Sheesh! In the first half. We'll be right back on the other side.
Huskies.
This halftime report is presented by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Welcome back to the AT&T halftime report.
Welcome back, everybody. UConn up on South Carolina by 10. This is the Bird and Taurasi Show, and it wouldn't be the Bird and Taurasi Show if we didn't ask you guys a question. So we've got a poll for you. Please scan the QR code below to vote. This is brought to you by AT&T. Best college player without a title.
I mean, look at those names.
Lisa Leslie. By the way, this is just college careers.
This is insane.
Lisa Leslie, Sylvia Fowles, Neko Gumake, Kelsey Plum, Sabrina Ionescu, Caitlin Clark. Plum is going to kill us for that picture.
Sheesh.
Plum is going to kill us for that picture. Well, no, don't answer yet. Don't answer yet.
Oh, do I have to answer this?
No, not yet.
Let me scan the QR code, correct?
Scan the QR code below to vote. Again, brought to you by AT&T. Let us know who you think the best college player without a title is. D, down 10, South Carolina. What do they have to do?
I mean, I always talk about having to change it up, and we always say South Carolina just sticks to what they do really well. I think defensively, you're going to see them ratchet it up. I mean, they're going to turn the screws. I wouldn't even be opposed to trapping, picking up full court. I think if you start disrupting them like that and trying to get those threes in transition with Pow and Joyce getting downhill, something's got to be different going to the second half. What do you think Connecticut has to do to keep the lead?
Oh, I think they have to keep playing how they're playing.
Right.
And I think to your point, if South Carolina can do those things, muck it up a little bit, then they can get out in transition, right? Because right now what Connecticut has going for them is they've got a flow about them. They're getting what they want when they want. They had that lull. They came right back out, which that's a good sign when you can respond to that.
Right.
So I think for Connecticut, to answer your question, when they get punched in the face, they have to withstand it because South Carolina is going to punch.
Yeah, it's coming. This is one of those games where, 10-point, 14-point game lead. It's going to end up like the last couple minutes. There's going to be like 2 or 3 possessions that dictate the whole game.
Did the one shot scare you?
I was like, is that me?
Is that what it looked like? I am excited for the second half. We have a very special guest. Again, someone who knows intimately what it's like to play in the Final Four, but also to play against these 2 teams in the Final Four. Coming up next, we've got Caitlin Clark. Stick around. This has been the AT&T.
Literally every time Caitlin I have PTSD and I hear this like boom in my...
This halftime report is presented by AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Welcome back to the Bird and Taurasi Show. It is 36-26, UConn up on South Carolina. We have a second half coming at us, but before we get to that, let's take a look at our next guest. A little flashback action. She did all right. She did all right in these Final Four games.
I was just saying, Sue, every time I see Caitlin make a 3, my ears hurt because this building was so loud in the last 2 Final Fours. Like, when Caitlin was on the court, it was just a different energy, a different vibe in the building. And, I mean...
What do you say?
Yeah. What do you say?
Great college career, obviously just starting her pro career. Please welcome to the show, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin, did you ever think you'd be back? Cheers.
Excited to be back.
Don't worry. I got this nice throwback Gatorade can.
Well played. Well played.
Sounded like a product placement.
There we go.
Our show loves it. Our show loves it. Oh,
Congrats
man.
on your retirement, D.
Thank you.
And congrats.
Now, Unfortunately,
Well,
reality's
thanks.
coming to me now.
What's your big plans?
in early.
What are you gonna do?
You know, I keep telling Sue I thought I was going to have all this time to do all these things. I'm more busy now. So if I give you any advice, play as long as possible.
We'll see. We'll get to 10 years. Then we'll think about it.
Get to 10. All right, so the second half's about to start. I know you've been watching the first half. What have you seen so far?
Well, I thought it was going to be a high-scoring game there from the first 5 minutes, which got me a little excited. I was like, no defense, this is great. Then it slowed down a little bit. I mean, I was watching you guys' show before I got on here. I agree with you, G. I think South Carolina, I would love to see a little full-court press. Why not pick it up a little bit, create some turnovers? But, I mean, Sarah Strong is just so good. I love her game. She's so fun to watch. AZ played great, so... it's been a solid game, but I hope South Carolina can get it close just so it's a fun finish.
Well, when you think back to playing against South Carolina last year in the final game, what was some of the things that, I mean, listen, you had a great game, but what were some of the things that were difficult for you playing against the South Carolina team? Different but similar.
Yeah, I mean, they have so many different weapons, and that night we played them, it felt like every single one of them was just so good. I think they put this up there earlier, like Tessa Johnson, like comes off the bench, or maybe she started last year, I can't remember, and had 19 points. Like, there's just so many different people. Even if one person's not having a good night, like it's just on to the next, and it's hard to prepare for that, and it's hard to stop all of that. So I think if one of their players can get hot here and give them a little spark, I think would be great. But yeah, and then obviously having Camilla, like that made it really tough on us when we're starting our 5 player was 6'1", like. Just a hard matchup for us.
Yeah, I mean, Sue mentioned it earlier. South Carolina doesn't have that low post presence. That makes it so hard to play against them. And, you know, Connecticut plays a lot like you guys did. Undersized, spread the wealth, move it around. And they're pushing the pace, and South Carolina doesn't like it. Caitlin, you had an amazing rookie season. Like, you just blew everyone out of the water. When you watch Paige play and you see her in the next level, what are the things that obviously she's going to take to the WNBA and it's going to translate instantly? And what are the things that, you know, it takes you a couple games to get used to?
I think her poise, like, that's something you need coming into the W. It, like, all hits you so fast. Is like, you're moving to a new city, you're trying to understand new teammates, you have a new coach, while you're trying to live up to all these expectations. And I think that's, like, one of the greatest things about her game is just her poise and her maturity, and nothing ever seems to faze her. And, you know, it's just always the same. She's always the same constant leader. So I think it'll be that for her, but also, like, she can score at all 3 levels. Like, she finishes well around the rim. Her mid-range game is some of the best I've honestly ever seen. And, you know, obviously she can score from the 3-point line too. So I think all of that. And then she can play point guard, but she can also play off the ball. I think that'll be an interesting dynamic with Arike. Obviously, we all know she's going number 1. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of put those 2 pieces together and how that'll work.
Yeah, so bad news for South Carolina. UConn is 90-2 in the NCAA tournament when leading by double digits at halftime. So just want to get that little fun stat, which is obviously, you know, says something about Coach Auriemma. Caitlin, you have battled against UConn throughout. I mean, you faced them, 3 times in the NCAA tournament? 2, 3 times?
Twice in the NCAA tournament, and then I think we played them 3 times total. We played them 1 time in a Thanksgiving tournament in the Phil Knight tournament out in Portland, which was really fun. We lost there too. Right. AZ had like 1,000 points for us. It was crazy. It was one of those nights where she got like really hot, but lost my freshman year in the Sweet 16, and then won last year in the Final Four.
Right. So when you play against a Coach Auriemma coached team, what kind of beast is that?
Well, I think they just are so disciplined. Like, that's just, they're going to do what they do. They're going to do it really well. And also, I think, like, for myself, facing his teams, like, they always had some of the best scouts against me. Like, you can tell how smart he is.
Yeah.
Like, he understands the game. He's coached against so many really good players. And, you know, there were games I would go into and, like, the scouts were just like, it was just like, come on. Like, why are you going under ball screens? Why are you in drop coverage? But, like, he just made it difficult. Like, he would throw different defenders at me. And obviously having Nika Mule last year, like, she's probably one of the better defenders that I've faced. Like, she's just up in your grill. She'll pick you up 94 feet. Like, but then he just always has an answer, has different people. And I think that's one of the best things about him. Like, he has one game plan, but then he has something in his back pocket that he can go to. Yeah. And that's going to bother you again.
Caitlin, how excited are you for this next WNBA season? New head coach and Stephanie White. You added Natasha Howard, who Sue knows really well, DeWanna Bonner, which I know really well, Sophie Cunningham. I mean, it seems like, you know, from the outside, this roster's ready to compete now, which is easy for us to say. We know there's a process to get there, but like when you see that and you see those names come in, what does that make you feel like?
Oh, well, I mean, obviously on paper we have a really good team, but you know, you only have, I mean, we start training camp, I think, on the 27th, and then, like, we have a back-to-back of preseason games on May 3rd and May 4th. So it's like you have a very short amount of time to put that together, and 7 new pieces, and whether we carry 11 or 12, like, it's more than half of our roster. Like, that's, you know, that's a hard thing within itself, but we should be pretty good, and, like, I'm excited about it. I think what we needed was, you know, we added a lot more experience. Like, in the playoffs, we just didn't have that. We were a young group. Even Kels, like, obviously with being with the Fever through her entire career, she hasn't really had the opportunity to play in a ton of playoff games. So having that, whether it's Sydney Colson, whether it's DB, whether it's Natasha Howard, whoever it is, I think having that experience is going to be really good for us and that leadership in the locker room. So I'm excited. And obviously Steph is like one of the smartest basketball minds I've ever been around. And, you know, everybody knows that across the league. Like, everybody admires her and the way she coaches and the way she leads. So I'm excited to learn from her, honestly.
That's awesome. So you're talking a lot about the team, but what are you focused on this offseason? There was the viral picture that went around showing off your guns. Everyone's wondering, have you been hitting the weight room? Was it the camera angle? What happened?
Like, how did you do that? I've been trying to do that for 20 years.
AI is getting out of control. Come on. But no, I mean,
it was like that. Remember when that Alex Caruso picture came out?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was ripped.
Yeah.
Just honestly
trying
to get
in the
stronger.
off-season, working on your game.
You're trying to get stronger, like a lot of time in the weight room, and it's like something like I kind of enjoy. So it's been pretty easy for me to like spend time in there and really work on that part of my game. And you know, I think the biggest thing on the court is just like that mid-range area. Like I got pretty uncomfortable in there when I would get in there. Whether that's like I didn't really have any floater. I didn't like taking a mid-range jump shot, so just getting more comfortable, like when I get my feet kind of into the paint, and honestly trying to just add a floater to my game, and you know, finishing through contact and little things like that. But I think just going back to the weapons that we've added this year, like there's going to be so many different things that we're able to do that I think it'll be able to make my life a little bit easier, and it should make everybody's life a little bit easier on our team.
So very quickly, Janet El Alfie just picked up her 4th foul, so she's going to the bench. UConn is up 11 in this moment with 6 minutes and 20 seconds left in the third. Mylasia Fulwiley just checked back in, so I feel like this is that moment where things could change. Maybe not, but this might be that moment where things could change. Mylasia Fulwiley didn't play that much in the first half. What are you looking to see from her here, Caitlin?
I need a little behind the back layup. Something fancy to blow the roof off and get everybody going. But yeah, she needs to get going here a little bit. I think she's one of those players that can really provide a spark for them. So she's so good.
Speaking of getting the crowd going, I know AZ's somebody that you know, similar to Paige. What I love about your guys' generation, the way it's all kind of, you know, playing out. You all played USA basketball together. You basically grew up together, competed, you know, against each other. You know each other so well. What have you seen in AZ's journey?
Well, I think I just admire her and her resiliency. Like the things that she's been through, like it's pretty incredible. And now seeing her success, especially over the course of this NCAA tournament, like how can you not be a fan of her and root for her? But also like, she has probably one of the best shots I've ever seen. Like, it's just so pure and so pretty. And, you know, I know she's not coming out this year, but next year she's going to be pretty high on my draft board. Like, I just think she's one of those pieces that will come into the WNBA and be able to just translate right away, space the floor. You know, she just makes shots. She's always poised, whatever. And she's a good defender. Like, you've seen it today. Like, she's picking up. She's aggressive. Like, she just does everything really well.
Got to get those hands free, Sue.
That's going to be me this year, picking up full court, guys.
Oh, yeah, Stephanie White likes that.
Sure.
Yeah, you're really going to be picking up.
Yeah.
Wait, so you two, what was it like for you two to play against each other?
It was amazing. You know, I've been following Caitlin for so long and been watching her college career just in awe. And to be on the court And, you know, the first game was in Phoenix, and it felt like the last game that was ever going to be played. There was such anticipation. The crowd was going crazy. All the people that came out to see Caitlin and you know, our teams play against each other. It really was an amazing moment. And you talked about how, you know, if you could play against anyone that is this new generation. So I got to cross paths with Caitlin, at least for a couple games. And to me, that meant a lot, you know. Like, we've been doing this for a long time, and to see Caitlin do what she does is, I think someone said the other day, I'm like, I want the season to start so I can watch you again.
Yeah, you gotta come to.
You forget to see those moments.
Courtside.
We got Amber Cox's number. We're good.
Amber's the best.
Caitlin,
No, but it was.
Caitlin, what about you?
It was awesome. I think the first time, because we played at Phoenix, I think I was a little starstruck. I was like, oh my God, but I'm pissed that he
Listen,
retired.
we actually, Caitlin, you're our first.
Jersey.
You're our first.
So,
you're gonna kill me. You're our first.
Send it to me. I'll
You're our
set it up.
first Zoom guest. You're our first Zoom guest, and this is the first time on this show this week, and I've had to cut someone off. We have to go to break. I want to hear what you have to say about playing against Dee, running her old ass around.
Oh my God, I was like, stop running, Caitlin.
So if you'll join us for after this commercial break, we can tap back into that story.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Bird and Taurasi Show, presented by AT&T. We've got Caitlin Clark with us. Sorry I had to cut you off. It's my least favorite part of the show.
She loves doing it.
But before we left, you were saying what it was like to play against Dee.
Well, I was saying, like, that game in Phoenix, because we only played in Phoenix one time. And it was before Olympic break. Obviously, we had All-Star there too, but it was a great game. Honestly, I'm pretty sure we were down like 10 or 15 and came all the way back and won. That was like our first like win versus a team that was above 500. So thank you. I appreciate that.
And all we heard that whole week was like, Indiana, they don't get along, you know, all this. And I'm like, great. And then I'm like, this is the most together team I've ever seen.
Is that one of the hardest things for you as a pro now? Just seeing all the narratives like that one, that your team didn't get along, and just having to literally ignore it, deal with it, even though you know it's not true?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something you kind of just become used to. It's like people think they know what's going on inside of your locker room, and they just don't. At the end of the day, it's just, you know, the girls that you have in there, and then obviously your coaching staff, and that's all that matters. And honestly, like, the best thing about last year is, like, we honestly had so much fun together. Yeah, we lost our first 8 games or whatever, but, like, we wouldn't have won if we didn't have a tight-knit circle or a good locker room. And that's the reason we kind of turned everything around, is just we, like, needed some time. We were a young group, and, you know, we figured it out. But, yeah, it was really fun, honestly.
All right, so Sarah Strong's got a double-double. AZ Fudd has 21 points.
There we go.
Malaysia for a while getting off, but it's still a 13-point game.
They just need to cut it to 7 at going into the fourth, and they're good.
But don't we all want UConn to win? Why are you saying that?
But Caitlin wants a good game.
I'm right in the middle here. I'm just cheering for good basketball, honestly. You know that.
I'm cheering for good basketball.
You guys can be biased. I mean, want me to choose between South Carolina and UConn? Come on.
Yeah, that's true. That's not fair.
Yeah.
It's a bit unfair.
She's like, neither.
Yeah, I know.
I want to win.
I wouldn't root for it. If it was Iowa and Notre Dame playing right now, I'd be like, I don't want them to win.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
But this is when South Carolina with Malaysia, we only talk about her offense, but defensively, the way she comes over on weak side blocks and gets
there we go.
passing
What
lanes.
I said she needs to make a layup, and it's going to get going.
You said it.
Oh, Gino wants a timeout. You think if UConn wins this, Gino's going to retire?
Yeah.
Great question.
I love it.
We were discussing that last show.
Not fair.
What do you think?
You guys obviously know him way better than I do. I don't know. I mean,
we're all going to have to hold that thought. We're all going to have to hold that thought. We will continue on the other side. Dang, 2 for 2. God. We'll be right back. You're our first. You're gonna kill me. You're our first. You're our first Zoom guest. You're our first Zoom guest, and this is the first time on this show this week, and I've had to cut someone off.
I don't know. I mean,
we're all gonna have to hold that thought. We're all gonna have to hold that thought. We will continue on the other side. Dang, 2 for 2. God. We'll be right back. I hate it. I mean, I kind of love it, but I hate it. Anyways, where were we? Is Coach Auriemma going to retire if they win? Diana said,
I don't think he will. I think when he looks at winning this year and then having Sarah Strong for another 3 years, he sees an opportunity to build another dynasty. You know, Coach is greedy.
Coach is greedy. Coach is greedy. I think he should maybe consider it. Caitlin?
It's a tough question. I mean, he's the all-time winningest coach. This is year 40.
It is.
Got through Paige. I don't know. I think he has a soft spot for AZ. I really think he does. I think he coaches one more after this with AZ, and then maybe he heads out. I don't know.
Yeah, I do agree with you, though, Dee. I do agree with you. What happens to Coach Auriemma every time a great player comes through is he wants to stay all 4 years. He feels that way about AZ. He definitely feels that way about Sarah Strong.
Right.
All right, so we do have a Twitter
But
question.
then after Sarah Strong, there's just going to be another really good player. Like, the guy's just going to...
Exactly.
Like, is he going to do this? Like,
exactly. Forever.
It never ends.
It never ends.
That's the point. That's the point. It never ends. All right, we're going to go to Twitter, whatever it's called now.
Tweet me.
Let's see what this question is. I know it's for you, D. Agent Eagle MC2 says, since Paige confirmed getting drafted this year, what do you anticipate about her playing in the WNBA?
Oh, she's going to be horrible in the WNBA. She might not even make a roster. You know, she's going to have a hard time making a roster.
There's levels to this.
There's levels to this. I mean, look, she's an incredible talent, and, you know, we've talked about the experience, the ups and downs, the injuries, and to be able to be in this moment as a senior and a chance to win a national championship, all those things are just going to help her going forward. And, you know, I think hopefully being the number 1 pick, going to Dallas, it's going to be a great opportunity, like Caitlin, to go to a franchise and really put your stamp on it. I mean, when we talk about Dallas, they've been close to getting to the playoffs last couple years. They've been, I mean, she's going to change their expectations and everything that they think a championship should be like. And Caitlin could attest to that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of similar to the situation in Indiana. You're right. Like, they already have really good players. It's just like, can you kind of come in there and help them put it all together? And I think that's kind of what they need. And, you know, they've had some good offseason additions, kind of made a lot of moves, honestly, made a few trades. And I think she'll honestly fit right in. So it'll be, and like
so
that arena's fun to play in too. Like, it's a small place.
Yeah.
It's loud. You know, honestly, they should move every game to American Airlines, because I think Paige has that type of draw. Like, she'll be able to bring those type of fans in. I know we're playing there one of our games. Hopefully the other one gets moved too. We would appreciate that, Dallas Wings, if you can move the other one. But
I love them. I love this.
All right, Caitlin, you brought up pick and roll coverage that you saw in college. Some great, some not so great. What was one of the surprises in the coverages you saw in the WNBA?
Ooh, I mean, a lot of trapping. Like, there's just so many athletic 5 players, and they're just so much longer than what you see in college. And being able to play out of that, like, it's hard. Like, you and your post player have to be on the same page, but also, like, once you get the advantage and have a 4-on-3, like, you need to score. Like, you need to execute. That's how you get people to stop trapping, you know. And honestly, early in the season, we weren't very good at that, and then we got a lot better. And honestly, I give Aaliyah Boston a lot of credit. I don't think people don't realize how good of a passer she is. Like, she's a really good passer.
Yeah.
There was a few games there where she almost got a triple-double just because she, like, moves and distributes the ball really well. So, you know, you got to give a lot of credit to Aaliyah. But I think just the trapping, people can switch 1 through 5 or, you know, 1 through 4. And, you know, then you have a quick guard on you, but then you get switched and you have a longer, not as quick player on you. So there's, like, different ways you have to beat that, but you can't really think about it in the moment. So it's a lot. It's hard. But I think I got better at it.
People think, and then people think basketball's easy. There's a lot to process
split-second
in one
decisions.
pick and roll. Yeah, and that's what sets you and Sue apart. Is like decisions that people miss. You guys make it before it even happens, and that's why it's, you know.
Wait, so now that you're retired, Dean, you can be honest. What was the most difficult pick and roll coverage for you?
I mean, I think the hard hedge was always annoying. You know, being a bigger guard, I feel like little guards can split it, get around it. Like, I would always try to fight and go around, as you know. So probably the hedge was just annoying because you knew you had to get off the ball. And that's when you evolve and you try to play off the ball a little bit more. You know?
Yeah, well, I
where
think
you're-
like that's one of the biggest things when I was playing you, like just the way when you're off the ball and people are like top blocking you, like just how savvy you are to like fool them and fool the refs, and like the way you use screens. Like honestly, like I just loved watching it up close. Like it was impressive. Like you could tell you played the game for a really long time, and it takes time to acquire those skills and like understand what you can do. You know?
Yeah, nothing Dee did was happening by accident. You were the ultimate, and I'm saying this in a positive, you were the ultimate manipulator. You manipulated every little situation you could to get open, to get your teammate open, to draw a foul. That to me is where you started.
Yeah.
You always had it, but as you went, you started to really separate yourself. You would just draw fouls where people, what are people going to do? They get close to you, it's going to be a foul. And you got so good at it. You got so
Dee,
good at it.
I
Dee,
mean,
who's your favorite?
Yeah, hit me.
Who's your favorite ref?
Oh, my favorite ref? That is a funny
Yeah.
question.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Are we going to commercial break?
No, you gotta answer.
Okay.
We
I
got
didn't say your
time.
least
My
favorite. This
favorite?
should be-
Wow.
This is good for you. Your favorite.
This is
This is therapy. This is a therapy session.
Oh, wow. I'm going to go with Lisa Mattingly's my favorite ref of all time. Did she ever ref you in college?
No, she like runs the refs.
Okay, yeah. Lisa Mattingly was always my favorite.
Really?
Yeah. Because she'd always diffuse me with, like, I got you, DT. I got
Yeah,
you,
like
Michael
see,
DT.
Price,
like,
isn't he a
I
Phoenix
just like
guy?
when they'll like actually have a conversation with you. Like, come on, like we just want to
Yes.
talk. Like, and obviously
Yeah,
there's
I think
two
the,
sides to that always.
the
Like,
approach. Yeah.
Yeah.
They talk about their relationships with the refs, and it's, you know, it's a two-way street. Yeah. You
Yeah.
have to meet players halfway, and at the same time, we have to meet you halfway.
Yeah, speaking of how much Dee loved refs and technicals and ejections, here's the time Diana got ejected and sent me this photo from the locker room.
oh my gosh, you got
tossed.
Got tossed.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, Dee, tell us.
Yeah,
what happened?
I think I picked one up quick in the first quarter, which is you're always doomed when you pick up a quick one. And then I picked one up in the third quarter, and it was time to go home. So
Yeah.
I took my ass to the back and chilled out, and my team got the win, and we went from there. But
How
I
many
had to make.
technicals did
I
you
had
get
to-
last year?
Say that again, Caitlin.
How many technicals did you get last year?
So last year, I think I think the limit is 7, and you get
Seven.
suspended.
Yeah, you got 6.
I got
I
6.
leave that to you two. You two know the limits.
I got 6
Yeah.
too.
I had
But this
two my
year,
whole career.
Hey, you
This year
got
I'm
a couple
not.
too. I can see it. Yeah.
oh wow, Sue, you're so perfect. That's good.
Okay, Caitlin, over under technicals.
The
next
refs
year.
love me.
I'm going 4.5. Over
Caitlin?
under.
Over.
Over 4.5.
Under.
I'm going over 2.
I already told.
No
I already
way.
Told,
No
I already
way.
told Steph too. Max.
2.
And it's more games.
Oh, it's
Well,
more
the
games.
thing is, the
The
I
odds are
was
against
close-
you.
I was close to getting suspended for our last game, and like obviously every front office or your GM like tries to like get your technicals taken away, and they wouldn't take any of mine away. And I got 2 for slapping the stanchion of the hoop, and then I got another one for accidentally hitting somebody in the eye. So half of mine weren't even like me getting to talk to the ref, which was dumb.
Yeah. I hate those side technicals. It's like, just look away. Why are you looking at
Yeah.
me?
Act like you didn't
Just
see
go
it.
call the foul. No. What at me for?
Oh my God! So we missed the Twitter question that asked me what my favorite technical of yours
Oh, okay.
is. I don't remember. Did you get a technical when you spit on the floor? When you spit on the Storm logo?
I would never do that. That's
That might be my favorite non-call.
Dude,
My
that is
non-technical.
disgusting.
Who would do that? Who would do that?
What an animal. I don't recollect that at all. That is
Well, that's my
disgusting,
favorite
Caitlin.
non-technical.
Oh, and my favorite non-technical is when we played in the playoffs and you yanked your mask off and you were yelling at the ref, and I was like, hello. But Caitlin, no one is as perfect as Sue.
Yeah, it's facts.
You want to be like her or you want to be like me? This is your choice this year. This is your choice.
It's like the
I'll be
angel
in the
and the
middle.
devil.
I'll be in the middle. Don't worry.
In the middle. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, guys, I don't know if you saw, but this is turning into a little bit of a blowout. A little bit of a...
Oh my God.
We are going to take a look at some memories. Caitlin versus Dee in the All-Star game in Phoenix. As Diana likes to call it, the ultimate.
That's a setup game.
It's a setup game.
Caitlin, when you're on the next national team, don't play in that game. It's the ultimate setup.
It's a setup.
It's a setup.
You guys are all
None of
loose.
you guys are all
loose.
Smile. I was having fun.
I had a great time. I had a great time.
Yeah, look at
my
Sue.
cup in my hand. I had a great time.
She's having the best time ever.
Sue said
Caitlin,
she was
thank you
rooting
so
for the Team WNBA.
I was on that side of the court.
I know, you were sitting right next to him. Like, come on, Dee.
Caitlin, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you.
Caitlin.
Good luck this
Thank
season.
you guys.
Cheers.
Good to
Go
see you.
Fever.
Yep.
Welcome back to the Bird and Taurasi Show, presented by AT&T. We are back. It is the fourth quarter. UConn has a pretty deciding lead at 20 points. AZ Fudd with 24 on 9 of 13 shooting. She's got 3 steals as well. Between AZ, Sarah Strong, who has a double-double, and Paige Beckers, they have combined for 53 points. No other player has more than 4 on UConn, and I don't think anybody on South Carolina is in double digits. So this has been a night of the big three. Sarah Strong with a double-double as a freshman.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the offensive end, but they're getting it done on the other side, too. I mean, they're making life really hard for South Carolina. 3 steals for Fudd, 14 rebounds for Sarah Strong. Paige with numerous, getting the passing lane, tipping passes. That just makes life hard when you're on offense and you can't get anything going. You can't get any type of rhythm. So, offensively they've been great, but defensively they've been just as good. And someone we didn't talk about at all, which I mentioned a little earlier today, was KK Arnold. I thought she was going to be a big piece tonight. And, in these games, sometimes just a play like that is 20 points.
So this has me thinking. There's 10 minutes left. There's no nail in the coffin yet. But if UConn holds on and wins this title, what is this going to mean for Coach Auriemma just when he looks at the 12 titles? Because there's always each championship always has a different meaning. And I've already said, for 2018 in the WNBA for me, it means so much because I never thought I was going to get back there. We were in a rebuild, which happened pretty quick, but I never thought I was going to get back. So 2018 has meaning because there was a big gap. So what do you think this is going to mean in terms of that for him?
I mean, think about Coach Auriemma. He hasn't won a championship since 2016. And every time he makes it to the Final Four and doesn't win, it's a disappointing season. I mean, what are we talking about? That's just not realistic. So for him to, I think, win a championship with this group, I mean, he's talked about it a lot with the injuries and, the ups and the downs of each one of their players and the journeys that they've gone through. To be able to do it with this group, at the end, he might say this is his most satisfying one.
I agree. Because they've been on this journey with the ups and downs, and I think there's something unique about having so much success, the way that he has, the way the program has, the way that CD has, so much success, and then to find yourself closer towards the end than the beginning, and you find yourself in a position where you're the underdog,
right?
Where you have to prove it, right? That's that shift that, I don't know, I think it makes championships like this a little more satisfying.
Right. And then when you talk about South Carolina, when you talk about Dawn, when you think about her career, there's so much left to be written.
So much left.
And when you lose championship games, it gives you that fuel for the next year. And she has, she's going to have a team that comes back next year if they can't pull off a miraculous, comeback here. That is going to have that hunger again. That is going to be chasing a title. And we let one get away. And we could have gone back to back. And we didn't play great. Those are the things that Connecticut's been feeling for the last, 6-7 years.
I was just going to ask what's going through Paige's head. I'm like, what's my lady saying over there? What do you think's going through Paige's head right now?
Yeah, I mean,
you can taste it.
There's, I think right now, from listening to Paige, she really is just dialed into whatever's going on in the game right now. I don't know if she's letting her mind get too far ahead of her or getting close to winning it. This is when actually you probably play a little bit harder, right? You're up 18, there's this desperation. You start talking more, you start getting in the huddles more because you're so close.
I was going to say, every experience I've had where we've gone on to win and we've been in a scenario like this where we're up big in the fourth quarter, I actually have more anxiety.
Yeah.
My anxiety rises. I'm like, we have to do everything. We can't let this go. We can't.
And South Carolina just has to find a way to go on a little run. We know how momentum can change so quickly in this game, but they just have not been able to string together baskets or stops, which, you can't have both.
There's just a feeling right now, and I don't see a run happening. There's just a feeling. Everything for South Carolina right now just feels hard, and everything for UConn feels easy.
Yeah, I mean, in that first game against Texas, you can see South Carolina dictate every possession. And tonight, it's obviously been Paige and AZ and Sarah
making it look easy,
being able to go right and pull up again.
Everything looks hard. That's just the way this game has gone, slowly but surely. UConn has built this lead. I have to say, my prediction coming in, and I said this earlier today, I thought UConn was going to, the first quarter was probably going to go back and forth a little bit, and I thought at some point UConn would go on a little bit of a run, get a 10-point lead, and then from there it would kind of go to 14, back to 6, to 14. I thought it would just hover at that. I never expected it to be a 24-point game.
I mean, to be able to play your best basketball at the end of the year, there's nothing like it.
When it all comes together.
And that's the same feeling South Carolina had last year in that incredible Final Four. And, this year it feels like UConn's had that extra bounce in their step. When you catch and shoot without thinking about it, you're in a great rhythm. And to be honest, I'm surprised.
Like, what's going through his head?
Coach is chilling now.
Yeah. So, D, you saw the video of Coach Auriemma in his press conference. Paige exits the room, and the world thought the man got emotional and was holding back tears.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
You know what that's called? Reflux. Heartburn.
Acid reflux.
Like, Coach has had wine and steak before that. Got up there, it was like, just sometimes wrong timing, Oh, and one, Paige, let's go.
So you didn't think he was crying?
No, I don't think he was crying.
Absolutely not. Nafisa thinks he was crying.
He might cry tonight.
Oh, I said when he goes home and it's all said and done, yeah, he might shed a tear.
He might cry tonight. You know what? I might cry tonight.
Okay.
A lot of times we always, forget.
Is that the nail?
40 years.
Is that the nail?
Get your hammer, girl.
Is that the nail?
Get your hammer. Go ahead.
We're gonna see that smile and that face.
Yeah.
Over and over. That play, that smile, that face.
There's those moments that kind of just like, there they go. Crowd's going crazy. MVP, most valuable Paige.
Most valuable Paige.
Stop it.
So now that it's getting closer, do you want to revisit the retirement? I think I'm gonna take my answer back. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Coach Auriemma, I think, I've talked to a lot of assistant coaches that are good friends, and there was a different attitude about him this year with this group. And that sometimes comes with a lot of time together and learning each other, the good and the bad. Like, we always talk about it only from a player perspective, but, coaches go through the same thing. They don't always like you. And that affects the player-coach relationship. And, for South Carolina, can they find a way to salvage some sort of, resemblance of the team that they are? Because they are just an incredible team. To go the whole year with 3 losses and get to this point playing really, really well. These are the tough moments for when you're on the other side, too.
Have you ever been on the other side?
I've been down 30. I've been up 30.
No, in some sort of decisive game. A playoff game, a championship game.
I think in the playoffs we've gotten blown out a couple times. A game 3, a game 2, and you're in the fourth quarter and you're down 12-14. Sometimes it doesn't even matter how much you're down. You just know it's not your night.
Man.
Oh, I was going to say, Put that on an instructional video. Drive, kick,
Add that to the AI
replace,
program.
drive, kick, replace, keep moving off the ball. And we talked about it with Caitlin and Jalen.
All the
and
alumni
Sue. Oh,
house.
that's a rowdy group right there.
Maya, Kelly Ferris, AB, Stewie in the building.
Wow.
Stewie's dad, Brian.
Hey, and
Carla
you know,
Berube
I
was in the
think-
building. You
I
get Carla Berube from time
Yeah, I
to time?
get Carla Berube sometimes.
That's what I thought.
And that just shows you how important it is to alumni. I mean, we always see Asia and Alicia and Aaliyah for South Carolina. I mean, you have this love for the school that you play for. We saw it with Kaylin when she got her jersey retired. It's special. Like, these moments are really special for all these kids and parents. She's spectacular. I don't care if she's up 30 or down 30.
Those two are going at it a little bit. KK had a little stare down on her layup. Malaysia went right back at her.
Watch out. She's going to go for the pick right here. Pop.
But you're right. I feel like with UConn, we've talked about it so much. The family feeling, how we're all connected, even if we didn't play together. You're seeing that with South Carolina. Do you think that is it time?
I think it's time.
I think it's time. The nail's in the coffin. It was time like 10 minutes ago.
The nail's in the coffin.
But back to what I was saying. Do you
The
think
jello is jiggling.
Do you think that
The eggs are getting hard. The butter's cooling.
the butter's cool? The eggs are getting hard.
It's over.
I don't know what kind of eggs. Oh, you're eating those fake eggs.
Yeah, those fake eggs get hard
They
quick.
get hard quick. You gotta be careful
You gotta eat.
with those fags. Get hard quick.
You can't reheat them either.
But I think when you have programs that have that feel, it's a testament to the coaches.
Yeah, for sure.
And not just the head coaches, by the way. Not just the head coaches.
That's a very good point.
It's the whole staff. I mean, we talk about Chris Daly a lot, Lisa Boyer on the other side. These are, Coach Auriemma and Dawn's, right hands. They've been there through it all.
And you can tell these teams are always all in. They're always bought in. And Connecticut was on the other side of this in the final in 2022. You always have to find silver linings in being in these Final Fours for your programs. Whether you've been here 24 times or it's your first time like UCLA. There has to be something that you take out of these one game or two games. That's experience you can never get again. That's valuable experience for you and your players.
Man, we had some good guests this weekend.
It's been really nice.
We had some really good guests. Elena Deladon, Caitlin Clark. Hall of Fame guests.
Jalen,
Probably
the biggest shot in NCAA history.
starting to get loud. Sarah Strong now has the most points by a freshman in NCAA tournament history. She passed Tamika Catchings. KK Arnold is just turning up right now.
KK's
I can't believe
this
it's
is
actually happening. This is the first time they've won since we've been doing this show.
I know. Every time we come, I'm like, should we have the show? We always look terrible when we're over here.
32-point game. UConn is 4 minutes away from a national title, the one they've been seeking since Paige got on campus. It has been all UConn, all Coach Auriemma, all AZ Fudd. Sarah Strong bringing it. We'll be back. See them put it away. The Bird and Taurasi Show is presented by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. We asked you guys to help us with a little poll. Which college player had the best career without a title? The results are in. I don't think anyone's surprised by this. Caitlin Clark at 62%, followed by Lisa Leslie, Sabrina Ionescu, Kelsey Plum, Sylvia Fowles, Nneka Ogwumike. I had Caitlin. It's Caitlin or Lisa for sure.
And you know what's so funny about winning a title or you don't win a title? The margins are so close.
Yeah.
You can do everything.
It's just the tiebreaker.
It's the tiebreaker, but you can do everything humanly impossible.
So what do you think it means for Paige? She's now 4 minutes away. This has been the conversation. Honestly, ad nauseum. The conversation around her is, does she have to win to cement her legacy? What does this mean for her?
I think it's huge. I think it puts her, when we talk about the greats, it starts with winning a championship, especially when you go to a school like UConn, where that is the ultimate goal. When you walk into that practice facility, you see all those banners. And to be honest, her one championship might be as valuable as anyone's 3 or 4 or 2. And this, postmodern era where there's so many different things as a player you have to navigate with NIL, with transfers, with all these different
Very
things.
good point.
Like, this means a lot.
It's a very good point.
This is a heavy championship to me.
No, it's a really good point. As we take a look at everything she has both accomplished and gone through to get to this point, it's a really good point. I do think NIL and the transfer portal are going to change just what it means to win multiple championships. It's going to be harder.
It's going to be super hard to keep the same level for a lot of these schools. Connecticut, is included with how different the landscape is of, football conferences and schools and the way, money's trickling down to different schools. It's going to be a different playing field.
Okay. The question that always gets asked. We've now arrived. Now that Paige, in 3.5 minutes, has a title, we'll go our. What is our UConn top 5?
I mean, it is so hard to pick.
It's impossible.
Only 5 players.
You always.
It's kind of like if you were like, give me your top 5 Tennessee players. You would have a list of like 10 greats. Even a USC. It's just so hard. So are we doing it?
I guess so. Okay. You, Brianna Stewart, and Maya Moore. So those are givens. And then I'm just going to name names.
Okay.
So you've got Rebecca Lobo.
I mean, she's the non-paid pioneer, as a lot of people like to call her.
She got paid.
Did she? What'd she get?
Not in college. What do you mean? Do you
She was on Martin.
Does the world know she was on Martin?
Gosh, she was on Martin.
She wore that Kango hat, that Reebok Kango hat. That was her
go-to. Good.
Do you know she was left on the cutting room floor for Jerry Maguire?
She didn't make the cut?
She didn't make the cut, but she was in it. She just didn't make the cut.
Not everyone can be in a movie, or 2.
Rebecca Lobo, Tina Charles, Nafisa Collier, my whole class.
Wow.
A lot of names. Now you're adding Paige to that.
Shoot, you can even put Sarah Strong on that list.
Pretty soon, yeah.
I mean, just with her one tournament play, Sarah's established
and it's
herself
going to be fun to watch her
as one of the best players to put on the jersey already.
It's going to be fun to watch her as she gets older. That should have been the poll.
And we look and we look at the South Carolina seniors and how much they've meant to that program. Bringing a national championship home, getting to another title game. I mean, these are things that are really, really hard to do. And South Carolina's been able to do it over and over.
So your girl, Raven Johnson, actually has a choice to make. She has a choice to make. She can go back to school.
I mean, these are the decisions that are so much, they have so much implication to your career. Do you stay and come back to South Carolina and try to revenge this loss, maybe have a bigger role as Pau Pau's out, and there's different opportunities for you to expand your game, but I think Raven is a hot commodity. I think she's someone that every game,
is this the moment?
Her stock has risen, and tonight she did a great job too.
This is the moment. The hug we've all been waiting for.
There it is.
They did it. What's this feel like? You've experienced this?
I mean, this is the best moment in your career. When you can leave as a senior.
Oh, my God.
And everything that Coach Rim has done for you. The way he's pushed you, motivated you, held your hand. All the things that have made him the greatest coach in sports. It's for that moment, and Paige has put in all the work. We know that all too well. She's done every single thing to get back on the court and be the best version of herself. And, that's inspirational. That's motivational for her, for other athletes, for fans. It's really just a remarkable story.
Did it get hot in here?
It's, we always talk about March Madness, March Sadness, and it can happen when you win too, because there is an end.
I think what happens, or what just happened for me in that moment, is both just an understanding and a respect for everything the two of them have gone through in the last 5 years, what it means, but also having gotten to experience that. The satisfaction, understanding how much you went through, and then you get to walk off the court before the time goes off. I mean, that says something.
Right.
You took care of business. And now you get to celebrate.
And on the flip side, South Carolina is probably going to go in that locker room thinking of a missed opportunity. We didn't play our best game tonight, and if we could have just changed the way we played a little bit and gave ourselves a chance to win,
now we might be crying.
That would have been something that
those sniffles
become cries later.
That might have been some crying.
I mean, what a great matchup. I mean, what Don and Coach Irma have done for the game in the last 10 years, uplifting it at every moment. And the one thing I love about Don, win or lose, she's a class act.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always. And tonight, it was Connecticut's night.
Sarah Strong finished with 20, 15, and 5 assists. This is the first player, not freshman, first player to do that in the national championship game.
I mean, it's insane how good.
He's not retiring.
Sarah, he's staying.
He's
what
not
are we talking
retiring.
about?
Oh, what a buzzkill. They were all trying to run on the court.
I feel like it always happens.
When that
right?
happens.
I'm like, just let it go. Just let
it
the clock.
go. There it is.
And there it is, Sue.
They did it. Wow, I'm just so proud of them. What a 5-year journey. This isn't just 1 year. This could be his most satisfying national championship.
I think this one holds so much weight. He's been waiting for this for so long, since 2016, getting to Final Fours, buzzer beaters, heartbreak, on and off the court. And, I think Coach learned a lot about himself, too. How, in this generation where, we don't want to hear what the old voice has to say. You know what? Maybe it still resonates. Maybe there is still a place for that experience and that hard work and grit to get you by.
It's been a while. 2016, the last time you and your team felt this way. To go through that handshake line and hug your kids, what does it mean to you?
You just never know if you'll ever be back in this situation again. And there were so many times when, I think we all question, like, have we been here too long? Has it been time? And yet we kept hanging in there. And it's because these players make me want to hang in there every day. And this team has changed so much from the beginning of the season. If people only knew, we had a preseason scrimmage. We lost the scrimmage. I thought we wouldn't make the NCAA tournament. But this is, they've all been gratifying, don't get me wrong. But this one here, because of the way it came about and what's been involved, it's been a long time since I've been that emotional when a player has walked off the court.
We saw that hug with Paige. All that she's been through, all that she's fought through. When you're in that hug, Coach, what are you saying to her?
I love you. That's all I could say. I love you.
As your players continue to celebrate, Paige has been there for a while. AZ was brilliant today, all she has had to fight through. And your freshman, Sarah Strong, your big three delivering. How do you describe the talent and the bright spot that you are in?
Well, it's amazing to have three people like that on the same team. And Sarah, you would think Sarah was graduating the way she plays, right? But all three of them complement each other so well. They all have such unique skill sets. About 2 months ago, this team fell in love with each other. At first, they would play, and there was like, yeah, we like each other, and we like each other a lot, and we spend a lot of time together off the court and on the court. But I think after the Tennessee game, I think they fell in love with each other, with the process, with ourselves as a group, and they started liking their coaches. And I just have never been happier than I've been the last couple of months coaching a team.
Go enjoy that, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Holly.
There is something about winning and being dominant and steamrolling, and then there's something about going through adversity and finding a way to win the championship regardless. That's what I see in this hug. That's where I see the emotion coming from. It is different, and it's special.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like heartbreak to make these moments feel really special. You know, that's the only way you get to a point where
he's never had the feelings he did when he hugged you as you came out of the game. What was that like for you, Paige, walking off the floor champion and greeting him?
Unreal. Just so much gratitude for everything this program has meant to me, for how much my teammates mean to me. And this is from the top to the bottom. Our managers are here from stores. Our practice players are here from stores. And they made us work our butt off this entire year. Our GAs, our managers, our assistant dobos, our masseuse, everybody, I can't even name all the people. Just everybody here takes a village just to do what we do here, and everybody's important to the team's success. And you see the 14 players and the coaching staff, but behind the scenes, there's so much work that goes into what we do, and there's just so much gratitude. And the strength conditioning staff, Hootie and Janelle have had their hands full the last couple of years, so to reward all their hard work, I can't even put into words what's happening right now.
You walk off the floor and Coach gives you a hug. I asked him what he said to you, and he said, "I love you." He's had to pour into you, and it hasn't always been easy. How has he gotten the best version of Paige Bueckers?
Yeah, he told me he loved me, and I told him I hated him. So, no, I love that. I love that man like more than words can describe, and there's a lot of times I don't, but it's because he's challenging me and making us all better in ways we never even knew we could, and he always has our back. That's the thing. Like, sometimes it feels like he's on you and he has nothing but bad things to say, but he always has belief. He always has your back, and just the relationship that we have, I can't even put it into words.
It took a long time for you to become a champion. I know you had your COVID year messed up in high school. You've had to wait and wait and wait for this moment, Paige. As you celebrate and the confetti's coming down, how do you feel so grateful that you were patient and waited?
Yeah, if I could say one thing, it would be to stand firm in who you are. There's a lot of people who write you off. There's a lot of narratives that can be try to put you in a box, tell you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to be more like this player, you got to be more like that player. Stand firm in who you are. There's people that doubt you because they think you're doing it on your strength alone. We lean on God's strength here, and through God's power, for God's purposes, we're not doing this alone, and we have a village that we lean on, and just do it for the people who believe in you, and always stick to who you are.
Yeah, Coach told me before the game, all I need from Paige is for Paige to be Paige today, and now you're a champion. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Got it.
Take a look at Paige's career, 3-time Big East Player of the Year. I mean, it speaks for itself. And now she's a national champion.
All those don't count. The only thing that counts is she has a national championship. She is a champion. She will forever be in the record books.
This is fun. We did it again.
I don't want to go.
You don't want to go?
Can we come back next year? What do you think? Where's it next year, Sue?
What's in the cup, D?
Where's it next year, Sue?
Phoenix!
Let's go!
That's it for us. Stick around for the championship post-game show. It's been a pleasure.
Sue, you coming to the desert?
You know I love the desert.
Come on.
Got a lot of wins in the desert.